Okay, hey everybody. So I'm gonna be doing a video game review, a post-play review of Resident Evil 3, the remake. Now, I just got finished playing with this like 5 minutes ago, and it is still fresh, imprinted in my mind about how badass that game was. Look, so a lot of sites, when it first came out in April 2020, were saying that it was good while it lasted. It was too short. It was too much like Resident Evil 2, too much like this, too much like that. I think it was perfect. Not perfect, but I think it was amazing. So I'm going to hit up 5 things off of what I'm going to uh, give on my snazzy meter. 5 things out of 20. Okay. The characters, the character models, the graphics, the quality of the graphics was a 20 out of 20. Honestly, it was smooth, crisp. There was so much attention to detail. It was, oh my God, it was amazing. That was good. I was playing it on a PlayStation 4, but nonetheless, it was amazing. So that 10 out of 10. Storyline. It's the Resident Evil storyline. You can't really go wrong with it. Some things don't make sense. Some things are a bit confusing. So I'd give it a 18 out of 20. So there's that. Now we get into the other stuff. Gameplay. How unique was it? It was pretty similar to Resident Evil 2. It was a bit short too. I completed it in 5.5 hours. So it was a bit short, but it was great. I think the story of Jill Valentine and Carlos was amazing. I think the kind of relationship between them almost added a bit of romance in there. And it was a nice little break from fighting Nemesis, which, to speak of Nemesis, that was amazing boss fights, honestly. The last boss fight, where you use the railgun to defeat him, mwah, beautiful. All the boss fights, no matter what difficulty you are always very difficult. And they're always requiring you to use, strategize in your brain. And typically you'll be given like hints, but honestly, I think this was amazing. I think it was amazing, honestly. Resident Evil 3. I do agree. So, for example, The Verge, they released a site or a web like review on their website, theverge.com, that says Resident Evil 3 Remake is fun while it lasts. The follow-up to Resident Evil 2 is a lot less substantial. And I think that I think Resident Evil 2 blew it out of the park. First there was Resident Evil 7. And Resident Evil 7 definitely blew it out of the park with the first Resident Evil ever that was in first person, and the story was like just so expansive. It was different. It was like related by a string, but it was so expansive and big that you felt like, yeah, like this was like a fresh start to Resident Evil. Like if you weren't into Resident Evil, because I used to not, play Resident Evil. I used to think, oh, that's a really good game, but I wasn't there in the 90s, so I can't really get into it. And then Resident Evil 7 came out, and I was like, oh my God, this is creepy AF. And so, yeah, so I watched that. I watched Markiplier play it, and it was awesome. And also watched Jacksepticeye. I watched those two play it, and then Resident Evil Village comes out, and it's even more related and more intertwines and everything with Umbrella Corp and everything that happens. And I just felt a new, spark in me, So, and I've heard good things about Resident Evil. I never really was into third person stuff, but this Resident Evil 3 remake was absolutely stunning. I've officially, like, I'm normal with third person shooters. I feel like I can easily do that now. I feel like this game was so creepy, yet it was just not almost like the jump scares. They're almost jump scares, like when Nemesis just pops out of nowhere. It's so creepy. The sounds, the character models of like Nemesis, his multiple stages of from his first stage when he walks around to his second stage when he's on all fours to his final stage when you kill him with the railgun, where he's like a big blob, and then he comes out and he is massive. It's it's awesome, and the dialogue and the cutscenes are top quality, full of um, full of like one-liners and stuff like that, and a cute little relationship between a lot of people, like between Jill and Mikhail for a little bit, and Jill and Carlos especially, and Jill and Nemesis. That she's the sass. It's just it makes you feel right at home when it comes to that. So that's on like that part. The actual gameplay was pretty good. I felt like ammo was abundant, but I was playing on. It was pretty hard too. Standard was a bit hard. I wasn't quite used to third-person shooting. I'm normally used to first person, not like watching someone else shoot and then telling them where to shoot. That messed me up. But so I had to play on assisted. I originally actually did it on standard, but it forced me to do assisted, which was honestly kind of um kind of embarrassing. The fact that I kept dying. I died like 3 times in a row in the same thing by Nemesis because I didn't know what to do. So I was trying to find out what to do, and it forced me to go to assisted. But it's still a great game nonetheless, and I'm probably gonna play it again sometime. It's a great game. I would heavily recommend it. So, but I think anything when it comes to bad stuff, it gave you a lot of ammo and assisted, which makes sense. But even in standard, there was still a lot of ammo. Um, I felt like some things were just too abundant and other things weren't. So to make like, for example, something to heal yourself, like something that was superior in healing, you had to get a red herb and a green herb. But most of the time I had too many green herbs. And then I had no red herbs. And then I used all the green herbs. And then I found a bunch of red herbs, but I couldn't find any green herbs. So it just wasn't balanced all the time. So it was still a great game. That didn't really affect it too much. Um, even when it came to assisted, I felt like stuff wasn't as pointed out as it should be. I ended up finding a bunch of Magnum attachments when I had never found the fucking Magnum. So I was shocked. I was like, I didn't find it, but it didn't, it wasn't necessary part of the game. That's the thing. Like some things are kind of necessary, like the shotgun is a bit necessary. It's one of the strongest weapons, along with the grenade launcher and the M16 or the CQBR. But um, yeah, it was an awesome game. But when it came to the gameplay, it was very confusing. I think the map was really weirdly configured. I'd give it maybe a 10 out of 10 on that. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best either. So I give it a 10 out of 10 on that. And then on the original, on like the graphics and stuff, 20 out of 20. Story, 17 out of 20, I'll say actually. I'll say 17 out of 20. Um, and then so it's 20 out of 20. And then for the actual like some of the map stuff and the orientation and like how to get used to that stuff was not bad, but it was not good either. It was definitely not good. Um, I'd say um, when it came to like shooting and like battle dynamics, it was awesome. It was a solid 15. And then when it came to the boss battles, I think, and the major battles, it was just it was more action based than puzzle based. So if you were more into action and wanted a little bit of puzzles, Resident Evil is perfect for you. If you're more of a puzzle person the uh, than the action, then Resident Evil 3 might not be the best for you. But it's got a few puzzles and it's great. Sometimes it takes a while, but it's great. So when it comes to that, I'll give it a 17 out of 20. So, oh, I don't have any internet. Never mind. Okay, I have internet now. Sorry. Um, so that's a 79 out of that's a 79 out of 100. But honestly, I think just the fact that the the how much it gave you of stuff, the proportions and the map stuff, that kind of dragged it down a lot because that stuff was really bad, but everything else was super good. Overall, I would give this a B probably, a B plus or an A minus. It was still overall a great game. The map and stuff did not really impact me that much. It was just a little bit confusing for a first time Resident Evil player. Normally I just watch. I've never really played because, broke. Um, but I think it was a great game. I would heavily suggest buying it and playing it, by yourself. Play it with a friend next to you. Most of them aren't multiplayer, but I think, you could still have fun, live stream it with your friends. I might end up doing a few Resident Evil games if I get it on my computer. But uh, end of the line, end of the, the to the point. Great game. Heavily recommended. Resident Evil 3 was awesome. Other games I haven't played yet, but that was awesome. Heavily recommended. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and make sure to hit that subscribe, like, all that shebang, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.